Hello. Well, losing sucks. That's the simplest way I can put it on this game. Losing that game sucks. They needed 2 points in that game to really start feeling a little bit better about themselves. Obviously, the standings are what the standings are. I think it's the previous losses that kind of amplify missing out on 2 home points in this game. I think that the short month or whatever you want to call this month, not playing and then a back to back where there shouldn't be or whatever, also kind of gives you this feeling of fuck, it's been a while since they've won games. And, it has. They were naturally going to slip in the standings. That was going to happen. They should not be losing games to Arizona. There are other games in there. There's a Kings game that they probably could have won. Whatever. Let's just focus on tonight's game, because tonight's game, for the most part, understanding who the Golden Knights are missing, what they could potentially get back, what Colorado had, the situation, the effort you needed to get coming off of the shit that they just put out against Arizona, all of it. The game itself is good, if not great, to a degree. Now, hear me out. Don't throw your phone at the wall. By the way, sorry about my poor microphone today. I don't have the good one. I don't know. I forgot it. Whatever. This is a game that the Golden Knights played the way that they needed to play for about 59 minutes. Most of the game. A good portion of what they needed to do in that game came through. They did it. They did exactly what they needed to do. The problem was, first off, they are short players. I understand that. I am not going to be one that's going to sit here and use that excuse all the time. What I'm saying is, this particular team with this particular group is not winning the Stanley Cup. However, they need to play better than they have. They did today. They are not what they were against Arizona. That team was not on the ice today. That's good. That's what we needed to see. This was a moment that I felt like this has to be a response from the Golden Knights in a way that makes you feel like this team's going in the right direction. This team has a direction, period. Today, they had it. That's what we needed to see. Today, we saw what we needed to see out of a team that had to respond. That being said, this team has to find a way to generate more offense as opposed to having it handed to them. They did not generate offense against Arizona. They did not generate a ton of offense today. They have to find a way to generate offense when they have extended offensive zone time. When they get the puck in, they have to do it. Now, one of the big problems and one of the reasons why they haven't been able to do that over the course of the last however long, I don't even know how long you want to say it. Like, you can look at it however you want. I don't know. Here's the issue. The way the Golden Knights defend now, especially in transition, especially against a team that's set up coming through the neutral zone, they want to challenge you in the neutral zone. Against Colorado, that has been very, very successful. Of all season long, today was the best example of the Golden Knights 1-1-3 neutral zone dominating. It was spectacular today. As good as it has been all season long, as good as Tampa played it all season long last year, all of it, tremendous. Everything you could possibly ask for out of that 1-1-3 neutral zone, and what it's supposed to do to the opposing team, what it's supposed to feed you offensively, all of it, tremendous today. Tactically, the Golden Knights were excellent in that. Here's where the tactics get tricky. The Golden Knights' way of getting out of their own zone, which is much improved compared to what it had been in the past, is now much more simplified than what it used to be. Against a team like this, that's very good, but it forces the other team to basically dictate the action. They make the decisions, you react off their decisions. You set up properly in the neutral zone, and if they get it through, you're going to get it out safely, cleanly, but not with possession. That's what the Golden Knights used to do. They used to force their way out with possession, and then they would have possession, fly through the neutral zone, and they're playing this fast style of game. They don't play that anymore. They play a much more under control style of game in their own zone. Today, most of the game, outside of one defensive possession, the entire game, and even that one took a shot that hit the guy in the nuts to go in. That isn't going to happen a lot, right? Probably not. But it's going to happen sometimes, right? Sometimes you have to deal with that. It's not that big a deal. Where the big deal came in was the Golden Knights were forcing their opposition to make mistakes in the neutral zone all night long. And what ends up happening is the Golden Knights make the same mistake and do exactly what they didn't want to, what they've been trying to make Colorado do, and give the game away. You've got that game. It's a bad penalty by Kolizar. It's a bad turnover at the blue line, at the offensive blue line. And then you have a goofy one that goes in off you, and you didn't get your goofy one. The Golden Knights have gotten goofy ones this season. And then 6-on-5, it's actually deteriorating. They were used to be really good this season at 6-on-5. It hasn't been that good this season at 6-on-5. This is not sky is falling for the Golden Knights in regards to today's effort. But the sky is falling a little bit into regards of where are they going to be and how often do we get this effort and what's it going to look like when the games start ramping up and the injuries are there and all of it. What is it going to look like? I don't know. Right? So here's what they have to do. First things first, they're going to have to figure out how to generate more offense in the offensive zone. It cannot be get the puck in the high slot and rip shots through traffic, because the fact is this team's not good at tipping pucks in. It happens from time to time. They're not great at it. They're okay. They're not great at it. So they have to get better at that. Number two, they have to have the details that they had in this game. The details that they had through the neutral zone today are going to force teams trouble constantly. Even the best teams, probably more so the best teams. Maybe you don't have that much success against Arizona, but if your details are there, they're not going to score much on you. When the Golden Knights stand up at the neutral zone like they can and play in the neutral zone like they're able to, teams have to put the puck in behind them. Golden Knights are very good at going back and getting it. And once they get it, they're very good at taking it out. Now, they do not have possession when they take the puck out. That's okay. That's where you're going to have to figure out how do you generate more in the offensive zone later, right? The part of today's game that excites me is that defensive effort is still there. That defensive style, that ability to play that type of defense is still there, right? That's the part that I'm excited about. What I'm not excited about is that this has been a problem, how they've generated offense for far, far, far too long. They do not consistently generate offense when they're in the offensive zone. They don't have a great plan. They just do not. And that's the part that I need to see change. And yes, maybe it gets better with Max Pacioretty coming in. Maybe it gets better with Mark Stone coming back. All of it, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully, that's the hope. But I'm not sure that it's going to. And that's the part that I need to see noticeable change. The Dadonov experiment isn't working. Stevenson in the offensive zone. At times, it looks real good. At times, it does not. And this is a good point. No presence in front of the net. Yeah, that's part of it. They're not good in front of the net. They don't have players that are good in front of the net. That ain't going to change. Maybe they can go out and buy one. I guess that's possible. But that's probably not going to change. And so that is a concern for me. That is an issue that I don't know how it gets better. I really don't. But overall, I think for the most part, you're probably okay with how this game went. You have to be. You held McKinnon without a shot for 40 minutes. That's awesome. He had 14 last night. You forced the Avalanche to do the same exact thing that allowed the Golden Knights to beat them in 6 games last year. They did it again and again and again in the first period. That is exciting. That can work against so many high-end teams, and that should only get better as the Golden Knights get more and more healthy. This Periscope and all Periscopes are brought to you by Conler Associates CPAs. Go to conlercpa.com and make sure you do that soon because your taxes are due not that far away. Tell them SinBin sent you, and they will hook you up with a free consultation. Do that and support them for me, please, because they are great supporters of this website. They are great Golden Knights fans, and Gary lives and dies by every single game, and I'm sure you guys all do too. So take advantage of them being an awesome sponsor of this show and allowing me to do this as often as I do it. Okay. Yesterday's game. I was going to just pop on Twitter Spaces and allow everybody to just go off, but I realized that's probably not best because we're going to get a ton of fire this guy, fire this guy, fire this guy. I'm not there at all. I don't think they should fire anybody at this moment. I think you can see what the tactics can do for the Golden Knights and what Pete DeBoer's system has been able to do for this team when they play it the way they can. Now, they do need to look into potentially making a change in how they're generating offense in the offensive zone. I think they have to figure out, how do we get away from simply playing low to high, flipping shots through and hoping that they go through? Because it's just not going to work. Like, it's just not. How do you generate more transition? Part of that's probably getting you out of your own end with possession more often. Easier said than done. Power play tactics, disaster. There's no doubt about that. They need a complete overhaul of their power play, and I don't know if they're going to do that. That is something we're just going to have to live with. Does that cost them the chance at winning the Stanley Cup? Yeah, possibly. Possibly. Like, all right, not here to watch this. Okay, I'm only here to say that you're disappointed. Okay, tonight, there's not a lot to be disappointed about. The main thing to be disappointed about in tonight's game is they didn't get 2 points. In the end, it shouldn't matter. If they play like that the rest of the season, process over results, if the process is that tonight, they're getting, what do they got, 30 games left, 20-something games, whatever it happens to be. They're getting a ton of points. They'll be perfectly fine. Going to make the decision, going to make the playoffs in this division. No problem. Where the concern comes in is, A, haven't seen enough of this consistently enough, and there's been games like last night that it wasn't there at all. That's got to get better. That there's like no way around that. I hope and I think that over the course of the next month or so, with the fact of where they are in the playoff position, they're going to play better. They're going to start to get more, going to start to generate more offensively, I think, based on the fact that they're going to play worse teams. And that if they have the style of game that they played today, they're going to beat a lot of teams. Doesn't beat Colorado today, not the end of the world. You don't have to beat Colorado today. It would have been nice. Had a 2-1 lead. Would have been nice. Don't throw it away. They did. Okay. But in the end, it's not that big a deal if they drop the 2 points today. Yesterday's 2 points, different story. And yesterday's 2 points make you ask questions about identity of the team, how much of a team they actually are, what direction they're heading in, all those things. I didn't want to go on yesterday because yesterday the sky did feel like it was falling. And I knew there was a game today. And I was very interested to see what the response was going to be today. And for the most part, the response was very good. It was the style of game you have to play against this team. That's as simple as I can put it. They did what they needed to do against this team. What do you see? What do you see them needing to pick up at the deadline? Like, I felt defense has been kind of the downfall of this team. Seeing what they can do today and knowing that the way that they can play, maybe White Cloud sticks back in there, maybe you can get Martinez back at some point. I think you've got to find a way to get somebody who will get in front of the goal and give you some element of generating goal scoring from tips. I think that's the best option. And I'm not sure how they're going to find that player. So we'll see. But I'm going to keep this one short because I don't think there's enough to belabor other than the fact of do not walk out of this game feeling like all is horrible. It's not. It's not good. Trust me, it's not good, but it's not horrible at this point. It can be a lot better. It can be a lot more consistent. That needs to start Tuesday and Thursday and Friday, and I think it's Sunday, whatever. The next group of games, they need to bring this effort more consistently. That has to happen. Yeah, I know people mentioning a lot of Pavelski. That's going to be tough. It's going to be awfully difficult to make happen. I just don't see it happening. So I'll just close by saying the good of today is that the response was excellent, as good as I think you could possibly have asked for. The first period was tremendous. Second period, Colorado grows into the game a little bit. Not that worried. Third period, they get the one goal. Vegas breaks down, and then the game is a chase from there. Playing a good team. You're not quite as offensively gifted as them at the moment. Not that big a deal. B, today was an example of what the Golden Knights can look like defensively through the neutral zone. How much they can stymie a high-end team should excite everyone. But the downfall is that the losses previously have added up, and their inconsistency has added up to put them in a position where they're actually looking up in the standings. And as of tomorrow, I think they're actually going to be out of the playoffs by points percentage. I'm not fully concerned about that. I actually think it could be a good thing. It could kind of force them to have that urgency a little bit more. I'd like to see today's urgency more. But the biggest thing that today taught me was they have to figure out how to be more creative in the offensive zone. And I don't know if that means switch up lines, switch up how you're playing, utilize activated defensemen more. I can't see more of this flicking pucks from the point and hoping. Can't happen. And that's all I got today. Thanks again to Conler and Associates CPAs for this. Appreciate it. We will do this again sometime next week. Podcast coming up on Monday or Tuesday, I think Monday. And then we'll do goalie interference on Wednesday. So see ya.